I'm Fran Luca. On this Channel 17 report, we'll examine a controversial issue being argued between the New York State Department of Parks, Recreation, and Historical Preservation on one side, and groups of sportsmen, environmentalists, and conservationists on the other. It involves a proposal called the Recreation Forest Resource Management Plan. The center of the controversy is Allegany State Park and its nearly 62,000 acres of forests, lakes, ponds, and wildlife about 70 miles south of Buffalo in Cattaraugus County. At issue is the converting of half of the park to a commercial logging zone, assisting and encouraging the construction of oil and gas drilling on park land, the construction of a network of 22 miles of new roads throughout the forest, and the elimination of 60% of deer, beaver, and raccoon in the park. The final decision will be made by Commissioner Orrin Lehman following numerous comments on the plan. One of the last public hearings on the issue was held on September 17th at the Buffalo Museum of Science.
I was quite concerned about it because there's a lot of people that think that we have a good plan, and it's been 10 years in the making. And all we ask is as public servants to please sit back and look at the plan first and see what it contains. And then if you have questions, we're sure to answer them.
We don't feel that logging is an appropriate activity for a state park. That is basically our entire argument. We feel that the plan is a very good plan for a wildlife or timber management area, but that's not what Allegany State Park is. It's a state park for the public, for the people of Western New York and New York State to use and to enjoy. And we would like to keep this park the way it is.
The author of the plan makes the basic assumption that sustained yield management, that is tree farming, is appropriate in Allegany State Park, and then attempts to justify this type of management under the guise of habitat improvement, wildlife management, perpetuation of the forest itself, and enhancement of recreation.
In our management plan, the first time ever, a preserved type in wild forest, 8,000 acres. And as we said, even in intensive use areas, you're going to have a preserve as such for the people that want to use the park in that capacity.
How many of the people in this room have ever seen a tree that is 200 years old, that's 200 feet high, maybe 10 feet in diameter? It's pretty awe-inspiring to look at that.
Sure is. They'll be there too.
You'll never have it in Allegany
They'll be
State
there.
Park.
They'll be there.
They'll be continually harvested.
That's not true.
In a sense, we had a wild forest before because nobody paid attention to it. Now it's become rather obvious. Maybe there is merchantable timber there. And you mentioned the ones that are interested in this, and a lot of them are lumber companies, and a lot of them are people who are well-intentioned in conservation, but are not people who deal with it and teach it and become involved in it. I know some of these people. The lumber companies, you know darn well that they want the lumber.
Right. The people that have written in favor of the plan are not industry. They're not industry, as you like to put out, the lumber companies. Okay? The backbone of the plan is not commercial timber harvesting. It is a wildlife-driven forest management.
I think it should be the recreational headquarters for the millions of people in Western New York who come to enjoy its natural beauty and its huge trees. I figure leave it alone. Leave the park the way it is. Don't push this commercial development. We don't need it. We need a lovely place where people can go and have very simple beauty. Don't cut the trees or don't encourage more drilling of gas and oil. Just enjoy the park as it is.
We are very seriously concerned with the present management problem in Allegany State Park concerning gas and oil mineral rights, which are privately owned on about 30 to 65% of the park. We agree with the park management that this is a very serious concern, and we are asking Assemblyman Hoyt to initiate legislation that would bring these privately held mineral rights in the park back to New York State.
Why did they get into leasing 10,000 acres for gas storage in the middle of a state park in 1964? That's right. I'll tell you why. They never had anything formal like this as a guideline to go back to or to look on. And quite frankly, you know, most of our governmental process has got people at the top that are extremely capable people.
There has to be something in it for us, or we will not give 1 inch. We will fight this. We will scream, because if something is being taken away. I think if you were to sell the logs under a law where every penny went to buy out the mineral rights, I might really strongly support such a law.
Is it your contention that without this forest management plan that the forest would just fall down and die of its own accord and not reproduce itself? Are you claiming as a forester to make this claim now?
I don't say that the forest is going to disappear. There will always be a forest at Allegheny. The makeup, the composition of that forest, however, will change.